Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets is a union that just hasn't worked out for either of the two parties. He was set to leave Brooklyn with many landing spots mentioned and many franchises interested in acquiring his services, but the Nets have managed to convince him to stay, at least for another season. Let's take a look at the current situation and why the drama isn't over just yet. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2022 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. Starting with the latest developments. If you remember following the KD saga closely, you'd know that the whole problem started when the superstar asked to leave the franchise nearly 2 months ago. A couple of weeks ago, things reached a boiling point when Durant issued an ultimatum to the Nets owner, Joe Tsai, that he needed to choose between KD and the front office along with Steve Nash. That was the breaking point in relations between the two sides. In the last week, after a surprising turn of events, the Brooklyn Nets revealed that Kevin Durant is set to remain with the franchise for the upcoming season. This is extremely interesting because when KD's comments were leaked about his displeasure with the Nets front office and the coach Steve Nash, it was a massive story. Most insiders had known about the rift between the two groups, but it wasn't until the leaked story that everyone got to know from reliable sources. We're pretty sure those comments from KD didn't sit well with the Nets organization. Of course, how can you expect them to be happy with Durant issuing such an ultimatum? But that wasn't the end of the drama either. Soon after KD's meeting with Tsai, the owner of the Nets revealed that he had full confidence in the abilities of the Nets front office and the coaching talent of Steve Nash. As expected, the rumors of the 33-year-old leaving intensified, but he decided to stay put, very anticlimactically. Next, the reality check for Kevin Durant. When KD revealed his desire to leave the Nets, everyone thought that he'd get the move he wanted. Again, it was common sense. Why wouldn't a franchise want Kevin Durant, the former MVP and 12-time All-Star? However, over the course of the next 50 days that followed, the reality turned out to be very different. He was a man in demand throughout the NBA, but the teams weren't willing to write the Nets a blank check and offer everything up for KD. We saw that with the Memphis Grizzlies, as their reported interest in Durant was very much real. However, they were keen to offer a bunch of first-round picks to acquire the 33-year-old superstar, but weren't interested in parting ways with Desmond Bane or Jaren Jackson Jr. Similarly, as per Sam Amick of The Athletic, the Toronto Raptors were monitoring proceedings very closely, but refused to add Scotty Barnes in a possible trade. The Boston Celtics, on the other hand, offered a massive package and included Jaylen Brown in the lucrative deal for KD. It was the best offer made by any franchise, but even the C's refused to add Marcus Smart in a potential deal. This became quickly apparent, and Amick said that he understands the context and how KD's injury history, age, and personality impact every team's internal calculus. But the mind-boggling reality was that Kevin Durant hasn't yielded an offer worthy of his talent. Then, a reality check for the Nets, too. Andrew Lopez of ESPN mentioned that the trade market just wasn't good enough to sustain a possible trade move for Durant, or in fact, most other players in the market. If anything, some people believe that the Rudy Gobert trade ruined the market for any other possible deals, as the Timberwolves ended up getting Gobert after offering an incredibly huge package in return. That's the reason why Jazz wants a lot more for Donovan Mitchell, and why the Nets weren't too keen on parting ways with Durant for that less. But if anything, the policy of the Nets changed over the last 2 months. They weren't happy to see Durant go, but they also weren't standing in his way. Had they gotten a good enough offer, there's a decent chance that KD wouldn't be in Brooklyn right now. This was recognition of the reality for the Nets, as they simply wouldn't get what they believed was the right amount for their superstar. At the end of the day, though, it's still a win-win situation for the franchise because they were better placed in negotiations. They've got Durant on a 4-year contract, which meant that they had no reason to trade him apart from his own desire. While the Jaylen Brown trade deal could have been good enough, the Nets wouldn't be too worried as they still get Durant to stay. Lastly, the drama isn't over. Now, if anyone's thinking that the situation has been resolved just because Sean Marks gave out that statement, we're sorry to disappoint you, but that couldn't be farther away from the truth. We still have no idea why Durant decided to stay put, and apparently Kyrie had a major role to play in KD's decision. But let's be honest, that changes nothing. It's not like KD has realized overnight that the Nets coaching staff is competent and that the front office is good enough. No way. And that's why we think that this situation is building up for another potential fallout between the two sides. The Nets do understand that keeping KD is their best chance of landing a championship, but that won't happen if they don't get the band back together. That means getting back Ben Simmons. Yeah, that should be real fun. And of course, Kyrie too, among the other stars they've got. All of these players are extremely talented, but they've got a knack for falling out, more often than not. And as good as all of these fantastic players are, we just feel Nash hasn't got the ability to get the best out of the team, and it won't be long before the players realize that too. And when that happens, things are bound to get worse and worse. Many insiders remain skeptical about Durant's future and think that the situation hasn't been resolved, but only delayed. And now in other news. First up, Harden and Durant reunited. No, it's not what you think, but it could have been had the matter not been resolved. In fact, we feel it's a masterstroke from the Nets to issue that statement saying that Durant isn't going anywhere before James Harden's birthday, because can you imagine the rumors if his future was still in the air? Considering the kind of fallout the two stars experienced, it's been so surprising to see the duo warm up to each other. We are very glad to see that the beef was short-lived, and while they've been hanging out over the summer, the duo has even worked out together on multiple occasions. Earlier, it triggered the possibility of Durant moving to the Sixers, but now with KD staying, it feels like they're just good friends at this point. KD was spotted celebrating Harden's birthday with another superstar, Trae Young, in attendance as well. It's good to see Durant getting some time away from the rumors and enjoying himself. Next, KD's starting the season 0-1. As the 33-year-old is set to start the season with the Nets, hoping to deliver them a championship, we can't help but feel that the superstar is already 0-1 down. That's because he's the biggest loser from Sean Marks' statement regarding KD and the fact that he's decided to stay. The two parties have agreed to move forward with the partnership, and that's great news for everybody involved, except for KD. Why is that so? Well, simply put, he tried to burn all bridges and demand that Joe Tsai fire Steve Nash and GM Sean Marks. Now he's come running back on those burnt-up bridges and decided to reconcile with the same duo because Tsai decided to back his front office and his coach. Kevin's clearly not happy with the management or the front office, and he'll have to settle for the resources at hand. That isn't to say that the Nets don't have the talent in terms of players to win them a ring. The problem is that he doesn't trust the coach and the front office, and that could be a big problem for him. Will Nash trust KD over the coming season? This is an interesting situation to look forward to. Finally, Donovan Mitchell to the Nets? Just shut the offseason up already. We're so done with these rumors. Why do they tease us if things aren't going to happen? In the latest turn of events, Tony Jones of The Athletic has revealed that Donovan Mitchell hasn't asked for a trade from the Nets, but one of his preferred destinations remains the Brooklyn Nets. He also named 3 other places, with the Knicks leading the chase and the Heat also interested, but the links to the Nets are also very interesting. It's even more interesting because there's no way the Nets trade for Mitchell while having Simmons on the squad, and he's unlikely to leave. So let's see how this one pans out. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Kevin Durant will remain with the Nets beyond next season too? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.